Family History Project's Halloween Spectacular. Enjoy the show. We'll be waiting to go camping later. Family History Project magazine starts now.
Welcome to our partial examination of our haunted hometown, Independence, Missouri. We begin with our most famous resident, President Harry S. Truman. We're all familiar with the location of the house on Delaware Street, but few are aware that the Truman home is definitely haunted by none other than the man himself, Harry. And Harry has been sitting in the living room, the same room the smell of his favorite brandy can be smelled in. Harry has also been spotted walking around the grounds of the estate. Next on our tour is the 1859 jail and marshal's house on the square. In between the jail's construction in 1859 and the final decommissioning in 1933, a lot happened in the limestone cells. Guerrilla raider William Quantrell met an angry mob upon his release from the facility. Scores of women and children were detained behind bars during Order Number 11. The infamous Frank James roamed the halls of the jail and read many a classic book in his cell. In the 1900s, inmates were chained together and put to work building new roads for the rapidly developing county. But the thing that makes the jail stand out, it is extremely haunted. The souls of many former prisoners linger here. But in 1866, a brawl inside the jail between inmates led to the shooting death of Sheriff Henry Bugler. He roams the jail to this day. Visitors and staff at the jail have reported extreme cold, growling, footsteps, nausea, and hearing a man grasping for breath, probably due to the fact that many an outlaw was hung to death at the jail. Public execution was grand entertainment for the local folks. Next on our list is the restored Vail Mansion, built by Colonel Harvey Vail between the years of 1871 and 1881. Harvey was a very wealthy businessman. The mansion cost $150,000 to build, equivalent of $3 to $4 million in today's dollars. He and his wife, Sophie, got settled in their new mansion in 1881. In a very short time, Sophie became ill and died of stomach cancer and a morphine overdose in February 1883. Vail remained at the mansion until his death in 1895. In 1908, the mansion became a sanitarium. Of the most haunted places in Missouri is said to be haunted by Sophie and several of insane asylum patients. Next, a building with an exceptional history, the Jackson County Courthouse on the square. Its second story is absolutely haunted in the area of the original courtroom and the old Harry S. Truman office on the first floor. From personal experience, I can tell you what happened to me on the second floor. I was taking a tour through the building with the staff, and we were standing at the George Caleb Bingham portrait, Order Number 11, when I glanced down the hall and saw a man unlock a door to a room and go inside. After we looked at the painting, the guide took us into the room. It had one way in and out, and there was no one in the room. It was the portrait gallery, and it was crazy cold in that room. Meanwhile, down on the first floor, Harry Truman has been observed working in his old office some 47 years after his death. Next stop on the haunted hometown, Swope Mansion, occupied by bachelor Thomas H. Swope. It was built in 1890, and it was owned by his brother Logan. After Logan's death around 1900, Thomas moved into the house, staying with his sister-in-law. He became delusioned and angry at the world, and on October 3rd, 1909, allegedly poisoned by his own doctor, Dr. B. Clark Hyde, Thomas died. His family later on gifted to the city of Kansas City all the land currently occupied by Swope Park, including the zoo area. And to this day, this area of town is still haunted by Mr. Swope. Up next and just down the street is the Bingham Wagner estate on the south side of the city. Artist George Caleb Bingham lived in a small studio immediately to the north of the house. It was here that his famous painting, Order Number 11, was depicted the forced removal of every resident of 3 counties who would not pledge loyalty to the Union, giving everyone in the affected counties only 10 days to evacuate the premises. The Wagner family moved in sometime in the 1860s. Peter was a miller and purchased the old city mill across the road from the estate. Mrs. Wagner once made a comment about how good a view the family had of the Civil War battles taking place around the city. The house is said to be haunted by a mysterious ghost bride who appears on and around the staircase. Up next is Hill Park, located on 23rd Street, the only park that includes its own cemetery. The Hill family owns some 300 acres of land from around 23rd Street to include most of the area that is now Mount Washington Cemetery. The haunted part of the park is indeed the whole park. Both civil and Confederate soldiers are said to occupy the land. On this land was a major bloody battle for independence, and these souls are still fighting it. Across 23rd Street to the south is Rotary Park, which at the time was part of the Hill property. This small park is inundated with lost Union and Confederate souls. The western side of the park is said to be harboring the darker entities. Pitcher Park on Blue Ridge Boulevard, there is a mass grave for the 1850 victims of the cholera outbreak. Also, lots of Civil War soldiers are interred here. Floating soldier apparitions have been seen at this cemetery. Next, we have Mound Grove Cemetery on River Street. There is a white apparition in a nightgown who has been known to follow visitors to graves, but she stops at the cemetery gates. She seems forever trapped in the graveyard. Woodlawn Cemetery on Nolan Road is also haunted by a lady in white. She's been seen walking the length of the front stone wall in the cemetery, and almost nothing is known about her. Slightly further out from Independence are some very active locations as well, one of which is the Sibley Cemetery next to Fort Osage in Sibley, Missouri. From personal experience, I can tell you that this cemetery has a constant and unpleasant force. From the moment you enter the gates of the cemetery, the air becomes thick, and you can feel souls surrounding you and a feeling of being watched. Very creepy place to be. Missouritown, 1855, near Lake Jacomo, is said to be haunted by a former slave girl that worked in a tavern. The property is 30 acres with some 25 buildings dating from 1820. The spirit is known for moving things back to where she wants them to be. Well, that's just a small part of the haunted places you'll find in and near Independence, Missouri. Now, it's your turn to tell us about the haunted places in your hometown.
such a sweet, sweet thing till they got a hold of me. I'd open doors for little old ladies. I help the blind to see. I got no friends cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me. And I'm getting real shot down and I'm feeling mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They say he's sick, he's obscene. Cause they read the paper. They can't be seen with me. Cause I'm getting real shot down and I'm getting mean. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They say he's sick, he's obscene. Dog bit me on the leg today. Cat clawed my eyes. Mouse been thrown out of the social circle. Dead has to hide. I went to church incognito when everybody rose. Reverend Smithy recognized me. Punch me, never knows. He said, no more, Mr. Nice Guy. No more, Mr. Clean. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. He said, you're sick, you're obscene. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. No more, Mr. Clean. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. They say, you're sick, you're obscene. All the times have come here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor dew in the sun or the rain. Come on, baby, baby, take my hand. We'll be able to fly. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. 40,000 men and women every day. 40,000 men and women every day. Another 40,000 coming every day. Come on, baby. Baby, take my hand. We'll be able to fly. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La la la. and now they're gone. Gave my sign of sadness, it was clear she couldn't go on. Then the door was open and the wind appeared. The candle blew out and disappeared. The curtains flew and he appeared. Come on, baby. And she ran to him. They looked backwards and said goodbye. She had his name on his head. Come on, baby. Don't fear the reaper. Don't fear the reaper. Don't fear the reaper.